Johnstown. It's a wonderful opportunity for all of us at Northern. And for me personally, this marks another step towards a vision that I had over 30 years ago. I got into this business because I personally went through the gas lines of the mid-1970s. Now, some of you might be too young to realize that for the first time in history, you might not be able to fill your car up with gasoline whenever and wherever you needed to do it. You had to have an odd or an even license plate number, for those of you who remember that. It was a shock to everybody, and it made me believe that I should do something that would be involved in energy savings or energy efficiency. Insulated windows was a pretty new concept in those days, and it attracted my attention. And my father had been a home builder. And when I was growing up as a kid, I remember going to some of the homes that he would show me what he was doing, and I had a tremendous feeling of pride seeing what he did for a living. It made me realize that kids need to understand what their parents do. So it probably was a natural course of events for me to get involved in building or manufacturing those insulated windows. And in the years that followed, we have probably saved this country tens of thousands of barrels of heating oil from the insulated windows and doors and walls that we put into buildings that needed these things to get new life breathed into them. They might have been actually bulldozed and happened to be going to the disposal heap and have to build from scratch, which is certainly not the thing you want to do when resources are limited. And while we were doing this, we were doing buildings all over the Northeast, we were able to give hundreds of people solid manufacturing jobs. And I'd like to think that we also had a hand in getting kids like the ones right back there to understand what their parents were doing and why it was important that they weren't there to see them perhaps at the end of the school day or any other time when it might have been important. So this is a wonderful thing. We're thrilled to be here in Johnstown. We've met so many people who are skilled and experienced, and we want to put them back to work right away. And we want them to start building the kind of quality products and providing the kind of customer service that Northern has become recognized for. You know, there are a lot of buzzwords around nowadays. You hear things green and corporate social responsibility and, oh, I don't know, sustainable design. And I have to chuckle sometimes because it turns out that we've been doing those things for decades, probably before a lot of those words were actually coined. Our regionally owned and regionally managed company has been manufacturing energy-saving windows and doors and wall systems that have been going into buildings that needed new life and an extended life that we've been able to help provide, and a comfortable place for people to live and work for years. And we've been doing that, making them out of readily recyclable materials, a lot of which we get locally, and we do it right here at home with American workers. And we're going to continue that right here. And with this expansion into Johnstown, I like to think that, well, it's sort of a phenomenon. The last 3 years in New Jersey, there's a list of the 50 fastest growing companies, and we've been on that list every year for 3 years in a row. We're the only manufacturing company on it, and I believe in manufacturing. I believe that manufacturing is what made this country great, and it's time for it to come back big time. And with the help that we've gotten from the Fulton County Economic Development Corp and the folks at Empire Zone and all to give us a more level playing field from which to compete effectively, I expect that we'll be on that list soon here in New York State too. I don't want to have too much talking stop our first load of materials getting out of here, so suppose we get this into the truck and get that truck on its way. Thank you all.